back True Horse Horsemanship. And he started calling this series the Round Table series. A lot of things in the course of the day it comes to mind, and you know, with video, and I want to say them then, but it's taking the opportunity time, and I guess I'll start using these round table sessions to do it. I'm probably about the most unpolitically person you can think of. Some people call me a liberal, and I say, yeah, I'm a liberal, but I carry a gun, and don't mess with my guns. You know, that's the way I think about it. You know, right now there's a big controversy with Cloud Mustang, and it's showing how the BLM round up horses. I don't have no problem gathering Mustangs, number one, but if they do it the right way, let them do it from horseback, not a helicopter, and run the horses in the ground. And also leave the older horses out and on the range. It's not fair to them. I have trained 10-year-old Mustang studs, and I get it done, but I tell you what, it's rough. And they get where they trust me, but anybody else, it takes a lot of them for them to get to trust other people. And, you know, it could be ran a lot better, but, you know, when government gets their hands on something, it's not run good because there's too much money involved and everybody's looking for their jobs. But what bothers me with Cloud, because he's been on a couple PBS specials and whatever, he's famous. This has been going on for a long time, people. And what really galls me, and I don't care if people say, well, it's not professional, say this. Well, you know what? Somebody's got to say it. There's two clinicians on television. They did the same thing. One of them ran a Mustang for 2 days. They showed him working with the horse, and an hour somebody's riding it. Well, yeah, the horses wore out. Same way the other guy. And the other guy said, oh, I changed shirts because I want a fresh shirt. Well, no, it's a different day, and they don't run this Mustang to death. But that's all right. These guys are well known, and they telling you ladies what you want to hear. Which brings me to another subject. Now, I'm going to say this again, and I say this because of me working with one of the people who's working with one of the rescue horses, Kingston. She's doing real good with the horse, and I'm going to say that first. She's doing excellent. Christy's doing a good job. She's learning a lot, but she's a real soft-hearted, nice gal. But she's learning the touchy-feely stuff with these horses does not work. I don't care. You're going to have everybody arguing with me on this. They're going to say, well, yes, it does, because you're taking the stress off the horse. When you're riding these horses on the trail, they need to learn how to handle stress. The best way, and I've showed it, you look at all my horses I work and my interaction with them horses right there, they're calm, they want to be with me, and I don't do the touch. Yeah, I pet on them, but I realize it's a horse. I'm not going to love on them like they're my girlfriend. Well, matter of fact, we'll probably never keep a girlfriend because I am too outspoken. I'm a man. I'm not a wussy type person. I'm a true man, and I'm finding out you women don't like men anymore. But that goes off a different subject. So let's stay on subject at hand. So anyway, she went and got Kingston out of the stall. She's doing all this nicey, and the horse is evading her. It's like, oh, I got your number. So I told her next time she goes in there, move that hip, get that horse moved a little bit and step away. And I don't mean run them in a round pen, because that's one of my pet peeves too. Yes, I chase horses at certain times, but it is to get the horse used to the saddle flopping around, get them used to that hard action from another rider. So there's a purpose. It's not running a horse around in circles to tire them out and say I'm joining up with the horse, because that's not joining up. That's running the horse in the ground till they're tired and they want to be with you. I guess if you want to call that join up, go ahead. Me, I call it wearing the horse down to submission. So the touchy-feely, throw away the darn carrots. Throw away, that's for you women and some of you men out there. I mean, because you want that horse to come up to you. To me, it's more satisfying for this horse to come up to me because of it wants to be there with me. And how do you get that? Like I've shown in all these videos, and I talk in my book, True to Horse, is through respect, leadership, control their feet. No, you don't have to beat on. Somebody sent me a video last night, young gal. She's a heck of a rider. I got to give her that. But the horse just sort of looked at her, and I guess she's been watching so many other person clinics or something. The horse just barely moved her nose and she popped it in the mouth. That's to the extreme. That doesn't work either. You know, because that horse is just, it's like there's no fairness to it. And when I train horses, that's what I do. I try to be fair as that horse as I possibly can. I want to talk loud and clear to these horses, control their feet, make them responsible for their own actions. But, oh, I forgot, these days people don't have to be responsible for their own actions, so why should they expect their horse to? So, you know, if you look at the horse world, what it's turned into, and what we've done with the kids and everything else, you can see the similarities. I mean, now people don't have to be responsible for their own actions. They can say, well, this happened, or that poor boy, bull crap. You know, when you get grown, you got to be responsible for your own actions. You make a mistake. I wrecked up my truck door. Did I blame it on that tractor? Oh, that poor tractor jumped in front of my truck door and I backed into it. Well, no, I was stupid. And I still ain't over it. And I backed into it. You know, it's that simple. I left one of my saddles I use all the time. You know, if you'll notice, next time you see it on video, it'll have a new seat, a new saddle horn wrap, and a new fleece liner. Because I didn't take responsibility one day to get that saddle out of the round pen. Nikki didn't think, because she was busy. She threw Toby in there, the spot horse that's in these videos, who's real mouthy and playful, and he decided he'd like to play with it. And he did. And $275 for it. It's fixed. But it ain't worked on anyway, so. But see, it wasn't, at first, I gotta admit, I got a little upset with Nick. But you know, at the end of the day, it was my fault. I should have had that saddle out of that ground pound. It was my responsibility. It's my equipment, so I should have took it out. So same way these horses, like going given the bit. If you watch like Albert, and I showed another horse yesterday, well, King's Toby, spot horse, where he's soft on the bit. He's in frame, he's using himself, but I'm not pulling tighter. I'm not a dressage rider, so when that horse gets into frame, I don't have to be a control freak and pull more rein. I'm rewarding that horse. Okay, you're taking responsibility for you setting your head in self-carriage. I'm going to leave you alone. I'm not going to babysit you. And that's why a lot of dressage horses, they get soured after a while, because I have cross rehab a lot of them, usually about 5 years, because when that dressage horse gives to the bit, they take up more. They say they don't, but really watch them, they do. And they're holding that horse back, and they're thumping on them, let's sustain your trot, let's do this, let's do that, but I'm going to hold your face so you can't move forward. So, you know, you don't have to do that. Let them carry themselves. Then they'll be able to move forward. You'll see that tail quit swishing, and they'll enjoy more what they do. And then after 5 years, they won't be bucking or flipping over, because that's what they do. Horses, they get so balled up, and they're trying to move forward. They're trying to do the right thing, but they're pulling on their mouth, and bingo, it goes. And people say, oh, all dressage riders aren't like that. No, all of them ain't. But gosh darn, you go to these levels and you'll see 80% of them are. So don't give me that. I don't buy that one. You know, that's like some of these other techniques that we go, the touchy-feely good stuff. I have to rehab these horses. And I've seen enough of them from different people who's doing the same routine to say it's not the handler. That's my favorite thing, because we all want to be politically correct these days and say, well, it's the individual who's using the technique. Bullcrap. It's not the individual who's using the technique. The technique don't work. These horses get spoiled, they get overworked, they get too much in their face, and what happens? They crack, just like we do. So